Hi there, guys. Good morning from Dhaka, Bangladesh. I was gonna do just the two review and then upload them, but I just felt like I want to do this episode while I was talking about the Latafa perfume that I was reviewing, which is called Shaheen, Shaheen Silver. When I was reviewing this, even last day I sort of thought about it, like what Latafa is doing. Just talking about Latafa as an example of Middle Eastern houses, but what I feel. Comprehensively or like together what Middle Eastern houses are releasing, I think they are actually going to take over the market and which they're already taking over the market in Bangladesh. And I would like to have a discussion why Middle Eastern perfumes are such great value. Not to put down designer or niche perfumes, but I'll just give you kind of like a talk or a discussion on my opinion. And I'm gonna sit on the bed because I hurt myself yesterday once again. I fell from the Rhode Island while I was crossing the road. It hurt pretty bad in my back. This side at the back, it's like whole side. It's like hurts. Like I landed on my bum, so it hurt pretty bad. It looked funny. People were charmed. They had a good time, but whoever falls is not funny for them. And I was carrying a lot of bags and stuff, so it's just bad patch continues. Hopefully I'll do good. I'm taking painkillers and some like medication I'm taking. Sadly, my as I told in one of my videos, one of my watches I was wearing, it got a scratch, which made me very sad as well. This is one of my favorite chrono watches. This is Seiko Solar. I bought this like earlier this year, and I love this watch a lot. So anyway, today let's continue the talk. Let's keep it precisely on that topic. So when I talk about designer niche perfume, you understand one thing. Please do understand one thing. Nothing is consistent or constant. Okay, things change over the years. I've been reviewing fragrances. You guys know my favorite area is designer perfumes. Most of my collection is designer. I have some niche, but I review most of the niche from my friends or sample. The reason being, honestly speaking, designer perfumes are more affordable. One thing is very important thing I just want to share with you. Why designer? Designers are not cheap, I'll tell you. But designers were more affordable. You could get like 3-4 up to 3-4 good designer perfume for price of one niche fragrance. Not to say those are better in terms of smell or like prestige. I cannot say designer fragrances are necessarily better, but definitely for value when you think of it, practicality and wearability complements. This side, designers are very heavy, like they are heavyweight, right? But over the years, what happened was due to COVID. Nowadays, we're not talking about COVID anymore, but it's there, I guess. But people are getting used to it. The world actually sort of adapted to it. So what happens is after that, the effect of COVID and then the post-war that is going on, the two countries they're fighting, and due to that, the oil prices in the worldwide increase. So when gas and fuel prices increase, everything else also increases. And so after that epic pandemic, and this together made the economy worse. During the pandemic time, you've seen many outlets sort of like closed. Zara outlets, they closed many in UK, across Europe, even Malaysia, I think. A lot of these warehouses, they were not getting business, so they were closed. Shopping malls were closed. So what happened was many brands sort of like cut down their production, and because they cannot afford, because these are expensive, producing and then catering as well as like manufacturing, the labor cost. So people lost jobs and stuff. So everything has like is a domino effect, sort of like an effect. Everything is affected, like a ripple effect. You drop something, it goes like everywhere. So what happened is, due to that, the import charges in many countries, let's say cosmetics, everything, they sort of put high charges on the flights. So dollar rate also varies. Our dollar rate here fell. Basically dollar rate went high, but our currency fell. So we're paying more to import goods. Just give you an idea. So basically what happened, this in short, fragrances became more expensive. I'll just give you a simple example. Designer perfumes are now selling at almost the point of niche. Whatever is selling for $40 now are 70, almost $65 to $70, and that is expensive. And I'll tell you one other thing. Our government this month earlier, they sort of increased the fuel price by 50%, and that did affect huge. Like our market, everything is getting expensive like crazy. I bought my car like 3 months back. Nowadays, I cannot enjoy driving that much because when you're paying so much for fuel, now they're decreasing by just a tiny bit. That doesn't affect everything. Food prices, like say transportation, my business, everything, the stuff that I buy for business, like they are getting expensive. We're doing construction of a house, like the cost of the building the house, everything, the material, everything has gone high. It's just crazy. So basically life is getting difficult. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing is, as designer perfumes go expensive, this is where the Middle Eastern market is sort of like taking over. How is it happening in Bangladesh? I'll give you, because I live in Bangladesh. I can only tell you about Bangladesh. I don't know about the rest of the world. But Middle Eastern houses, I'm reviewing, as I was talking about Latafa. Houses like Latafa, Afnan, Rasasi, I don't know, Armaf not so much recent times, but Arabian Oud, some of these houses, they are selling a lot in Bangladesh, like hotcakes, especially the affordable ones, 20 something dollars, or, like 30 within 30. People can buy full presentation. They last a long time. You can get compliments. You can get something like a clone of very expensive perfumes. So many people are like, it's a no-brainer for them. Our salary is not so much. Designers cost a lot more. Niche perfumes are out of our league. So what do? We want to use perfumes too. So they started buying a lot of Middle Eastern perfumes. And some of the sellers here, they told me they're selling like hot cake. And I'm not surprised, because if you're a practical person and you want to make best use of your limited income, you have a hobby. Okay, you have a hobby, but to cater that hobby, you cannot spend, let's say, every month $200. Okay, if you spend say $50, you can get two good Middle Eastern perfumes, like solid ones for 100 ml, 100 ml EDPs, and the presentation sometimes look like this. This one actually is a lot more expensive, like $40 for this, right? In Bangladesh, 40, 45, 40, yeah. But sometimes some of the other countries, it's a little bit more pricey. But I showed you this presentation, and this one, it's no less than any niche presentation, right? And this is called Latafa's Eternal Oud by Pride Collection. And this presentation, plus the price point and the smell, everything together, it makes a lot more sense to buy these rather than some mindless, how to say, not mindless, but some of the flankers, they have EDT, EDP, Perfume, Extract, and then they have Elixir. People get bored at times, and when they're paying like $100 plus. Let's say I bought Blood Chanel Perfume a few days back because I wanted it so bad, but that costed me well over $150 for 100 ml. Okay, that's more like $180. Okay, when you talk about $180 or $170 for 100 ml of Chanel perfume, you already know that you're paying prices we're used to get in Bangladesh. Creed perfumes, and Creed is a niche brand. Nowadays, of course, it's not that cheap, but back in the days, so when you look at the ups and downs with the curves, the prices go up and down. Designer fragrance got a lot more expensive, and I think if it's not already happening right now, it will happen in a big scale. The sellers, they are bringing these Middle Eastern perfumes because their prices are cheap. They can get on bulk very good pricing, and they can offer very good prices, and people seem to buy them. Like, let's say, instead of collecting 2-3 designer perfume, you can get like 6 or 7 Arabian perfumes. So this is how they are sort of storming in the market, and they are taking over. And in future, if you see, let's say nothing has to be a clone, even a perfume that has oud, very popular in Middle Eastern countries, as well as European and States, like Western countries. People seem to like oud because they have cold weathers and stuff. It's more enjoyable. Whereas if you're buying a niche house, you are paying like 500 thousands of dollars. Yeah, thousands. Some of the Frederic Malle fragrances cost $1,000. So when you think of that, and you can get Arabian oud, something like $150 for a equivalent quality or something, not far from that, people seriously will consider $150 versus $1,000. How many people do you think gonna choose the $1,000 perfumes? Not many. Those who have deep pockets, yes, but how many people are rich in the world? Not that much. So I'm just doing like a thinking when I walk, and I really feel Middle Eastern houses are value when you look at them. And I'm not trying to say I want to influence you to look at only Arabian perfumes, because Arabian fragrances are good, but to get more variation, you should look at all designer, niche, indie, Middle Eastern. So you get like a nice little mix. Like, let's say you have a Cedrat Boise, okay, in your collection. Then you have a Dior Sauvage. Then you have something like Frederic Malle Synthetic Jungle. And then you have something like Arabian Oud Kalemat Black. So you see the mix that you have a different fragrance for different occasion. So if you like to collect like that, 10 different fragrance of 10 different brands that smell unique from each other, that makes more sense to me. If you have every fragrance that is blue, which I used to do, I used to have everything blue, Polo Blue, Dior Sauvage, Bleu de Chanel, Mr. Burberry, all the same type because I like freshies, Versace, Purom, Eau Fresh. But then I started learning, or started liking rather, other kind of fragrances, a little bit heavy, tobacco, oud, boozy, alongside citrus. So basically, I have many kind of perfumes right now, and I have different mood, different days. I don't wear same fragrance every day. So what happens is, if you talk about strictly value, the money that you're putting in the market to get a fragrance with a presentation, I'm talking a full presentation, not decant or sample. These houses, people are buying a lot. They're selling like hotcakes. Like they're bringing, like, I'll give you example. They say, let's say they brought 150 units of certain perfume. It gets sold out within 3 to 4 days. Completely sold out. They say sold out, like Shogun. Yeah, I'm just give you an example, Shogun. Or something like a fragrance that's Swiss Arabian, Pure Instinct, Or another fragrance, let's say, which one was it? Very, very popular. I think Pride, Afnan, Rokas, no. I forgot the name. I think these cheaper perfumes, why am I forgetting? Like I reviewed, there's so many of them. Anyway, so Afnan, Pride, these kind of perfumes, they get sold out like because they're cheap. People, when they bring it in the market, people think, oh, $25, not gonna hurt my pocket. They just buy, they order 3-4 perfumes, they get sold out like this. Okay, so this is happening in Bangladesh, I'm telling you, and it's not just hype. Okay, people are buying this on their own. Many of the people are not even in our community, and they just use perfumes as like daily drivers, and they just randomly post. They are not really collectors. They are like, hey, I'm liking this Latafa perfume a lot. I'm liking this Ajmal perfume a lot, or this Rasasi. These are giving good performance. So you see the good stuff. Affordable price tag, longevity is good. They sometimes clone of some very expensive perfumes, and they get compliments. And they are more than some designer perfumes in terms of they add some of their own notes, florals, oud, saffron, sort of gives that nice little kick to the original fragrance. So you get something, let's say, mix between Aventus and oud, okay, like how to say, it's a nice little addition, right? So at times, I'm not saying always Middle Eastern perfumes are better than designer, but in terms of those things that I mentioned, those areas, they make a lot more sense. So I think it's just an opinion, okay? They are like storming the market, and they're like taking the market by a storm. And I feel they are sort of like going to be much more huge than they already were. So definitely check them out, if you see, like their presentation, the price, longevity, it will make a lot more sense to you that I spend $25 or I spend $1,000. And the designer fragrances nowadays, many of them are reformulated. I'm telling you, whatever we used to get back then, they are not doing the same for us anymore because they reduce the oil concentration, they reformulate very, very quickly, and it disappoints people. People don't want to buy recent batches of La Nuit de l'Homme. I'm just telling you, which used to be one of the most popular perfumes. Nowadays, I have La Nuit de l'Homme in my Decant page list. Nobody asked for it. Where people are selling, there used to be a time people would just grab it, like, hey, I'll take the La Nuit de l'Homme. Nowadays, people say Bleu de Chanel, La Nuit de l'Homme, they're not cutting it for us. We're spending $70, $85. Instead of that, we could get like 2-3 Middle Eastern perfumes. You see how the psychology works. So yeah, it's going to happen in Bangladesh. I'm telling you, particular example, this is happening. So that's all. It's no verdict. It's not like asking you or anything, but just telling you this is what's happening. So people always know ultimately their money, their choice, and whatever works best for them. People have the final say because they have the money, right? So what do you think? Do you think Middle Eastern fragrances are good? And of course, not everything's going to be good, but do you think they're good value? Leave a comment below. Let others read. And what is your experience? If you like them, if you don't like them, just have your say. Let's see what people feel. Have a nice day. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.